Cinema is the only word to describe what happened in today's events at ESL Pro League Season 21. The semifinals were intense, unreal, and at the end of it all, we have a grudge match grand finals tomorrow between MOUZ and Vitality. That's right, MOUZ beat Spirit in a best of 3 to secure their second straight grand finals appearance, and despite a game effort, they were no match for a Vitality that, in my opinion, could end up establishing the first true era of CS2. So despite there being only 2 games, I am burdened with the too large task of breaking it down for you guys today. So let's go ahead and get right to it. Make sure you guys take a second, leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So far you guys have been killing it and helping me reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, so please keep it up. Thank you guys so much for that. And before we get started, let's go ahead and thank today's sponsor. That's right, this video is sponsored by Skin Club. They're one of the most popular case opening sites in the scene with over 100 custom cases backed by their provably fair system. You can open cases individually or wager your winnings against other users in case battles, either with players around the world or privately with bots if you want to avoid being smurfed outside of Premiere as well. But wait, there's more. Skin Club runs monthly events with free rewards to earn, free daily cases, and if you don't like what you earned, you can always go for a cheeky little upgrade to get something you do. If you want to play on Skin Club, you can do so at the top link in the description down below and get a 7% deposit bonus when you top off your account with credit card, crypto, or the 5,000 Peach 50 sand dunes in your inventory. Please gamble responsibly and only do so if you are over 18 and live in a country or jurisdiction that doesn't restrict gambling. Gambling can be an addiction, and you should never gamble for the purposes of making profit. Only wager what you are comfortable losing. If you or a loved one are suffering from gambling addiction in the US or Canada, you can reach out to 1-800-GAMBLER toll-free to get help. I want you to be safe and healthy always, so seek help if you need it. And thank you to Skin Club for sponsoring this video. So first off, I would like to come here, hat in my hand, and formally apologize to MOUZ. Because, as you guys I'm sure are well aware, I have been nothing if not one of their foremost critics and skeptics over how they have handled these roster moves. I still maintain that walking away from Shuhi was the wrong decision. However, I can't sit here in good consciousness and not regard what I've seen from them as anything other than legit. Now, I think there were a fair amount of questions and a fair amount of asterisks coming out of Cluj-Napoca, mainly the level of competition. But at Pro League, I think MOUZ have maintained and even leveled up their game compared to what we saw there. I think beating Spirit today is one of their best wins with this core of players. They put the single best player on the planet in a box at various moments. In some of the most key moments of these games, Donk was neutralized in a way that other teams simply haven't been able to do. Now, I still don't know how to feel about Brolin as a true IGL talent. One thing that I will 100% recognize though, is that regardless of whatever kind of skill he may have at calling, the team play, the coordination, and the communication we have seen from MOUZ is some of the very best I have seen from a team in a very long time. Every time we get to listen into their communications, I am constantly stunned by the level, the depth, and the speed at which everybody in this team communicates with each other. Everyone is talking constantly. If you want a stark contrast, go and listen to any of the comms from G2 and you'll see what I mean. Everybody is contributing to the game state. There isn't just an in-game leader solo piloting the experience while other people chip in intel. No, everyone has a hand in calling these rounds. Brolin is by no means left on an island. This is not Twist in Team Liquid, where we're seeing Twist try to develop his own identity for the game. No, MOUZ are playing by committee, and it's fucking working. In fact, it almost feels like MOUZ have managed to build something that many teams tried to do quite a few years ago before there were significant coaching rule changes that came in from Valve. It seems like Cyclone is the in-game leader for this team, and MOUZ are just 5 independent, very skilled players who chip in when it comes to mid-round adjustments and responding to things between rounds when a timeout isn't called. I would say that's actually a very good parallel to what this team is doing. And if this is not the most insane honeymoon period of all time, that could make MOUZ, for the rest of this year, one of the deepest and scariest teams in the world. I have to recognize what they've done now. Beating Spirit is unbelievably legit. The way they did it was insane, the clutch factor was out of this world, and there were points where Donk and Shiro truly felt like they weren't enough. They exposed the biggest flaw with Spirit, the thing that we've always known. When you put the pressure onto the other pieces, they tend to crumble. And even then, Xerxin is just not that far behind Donk. Torzi is not that far behind Shiro. They have the star talent to back up the system. Anyways, circling into the actual games now, what you've been watching in the background is MOUZ shit-stomping Spirit's CT side of Nuke, and that is the correct word, right? Going 9-3 on the T side of Nuke is insane in any context. Holding Donk to literally one fucking rifle kill is a whole nother level. I mean, this was just crazy, right? Even more crazy when you add in the further context that despite that, this game goes to overtime because Spirit give it back in kind, because Donk is incapable of having 2 bad halves in a row. He's just built like that. Keep in mind that I feel like Donk didn't play good for this series. Donk was still the best player in this series. Had more kills than Torzi and Xerxin, had a higher rating than everyone else. He did not play to expectations on Nuke or Ancient, and he was still the best goddamn player. That's the level he's on, man. And despite that, I still think he could have done better. He's breaking all the rules, but that's neither here nor there. I think Donk really woke up on the T side because he got himself more involved. He got more aggressive. Spirit did really well to continue to maneuver him around outside, get him down secret. Both teams used outside smokes to an insane level in this game on their T sides, continually moving Xerxin or Donk downstairs so that they could pinch ramp, take the lower bomb site. They were so successful on those takes downstairs from both sides. It was great. Spirit even captured match point 12-11 in that last round of regulation. It comes down to just a little bit of individual heroics. Brolin just does insane work with the MP9 on top hut. He manages to take out Zontix. He then flies down into lobby for the second kill. And then that gives time for Donk to maneuver on the late lurk outside. He takes out Xerxin as he's moving through Mini. Spinks is trapped behind the back vent. He gets mollied out by Chopper, and despite that, he still kills Donk in the fire, being shot by both players. A rare slow reaction time from Donk lets the round spiral out of control. Even all that being said, Chopper still nearly wins the 2v1 on the lower bomb site after. But if Donk just kills Spinks there, I'm fully confident they win that round. I feel like just the way Donk was playing in that T half, he was gonna find a way to win that clutch. But just unreal. That's just the smallest details make the difference in Counter-Strike. That's always how it's been. And speaking of, we flash forward into the overtime. It's literally been back and forth every single round. MOUZ barely being the ones to string 2 rounds together as the first half ends into the second half. It's 15-14. MOUZ, they're on match point yet again, but they fall behind into a 2v4. And Torzi just locks the fuck in. He ends this round with a 4K. He manages to whittle it down to a 1v1 against Shiro. There's no time on the clock. Shiro successfully stops the plant the first time, gets the jiggle peek. Torzi has to commit to the plant. Shiro jump spots it once again, sees Torzi's, comes off it. Torzi pushes forward in his face, hits him with the quick scope, and the game is over. Now, I understand that people are going to say this is hindsight bias, but my first immediate thought after Shiro spoils the plant the first time is Shiro needs to run. He needs to run. I know the instinct to prevent the bomb plant is strong, and this is maybe just a difference in playstyle. Obviously, I'm not a pro. I don't know what I could do in that situation. But when I've been in similar situations myself playing the game, I would rather give up the plant than risk getting shot there, because time is always on the CT side. Make the T, make the play. I would rather Shiro have just disappeared and try to reposition through Hut, go back through Squeaky, who knows, and just play the post plan if he had to. But he got Torzi to come off the bomb there. Shiro should never be taking that second repeak, in my opinion. I think Shiro's one of the best clutch players in the entire world, and that's just a rare mistake. Torzi makes an even better play off the back of it, and it cost Spirit the ability to win this series. I sincerely believe that because they ran MOUZ over on Dust 2. I mean, ran them over. Between maps, Donk pulled up the old NBA Youngboy playlist and pulled up the Dust 2 like this. Alright, he was on demon mode. He was demonic, unstoppable, unholy. You cannot keep Donk down twice. And I think if Shiro wins that clutch, it's like the motivational boost for Spirit to win in double overtime. I think Spirit wins Nuke there if they get that clutch. I really do. And that's, again, the smallest differences between this being a 2-0 for Spirit and having to go to a third map on Ancient. And what else can I say other than Xerxton had an MVP level performance on this map? He was a fucking monster on the CT side. And the way he neutralized Donk in mid is one of the best like Donk anti-stratting performances I've seen on Ancient. Because the dumb thing about Team Spirit's Ancient is how freely and effortlessly Donk will dismantle you in mid. And they kept nading him, beating him straight up. They put him to the point where Spirit were scared to take mid control. It slowed down their attack so much that it took the teeth out of it. They shut down Spirit. They went up 8-1 before Spirit could string some rounds together off the back of just straight up punting them out of map control and force them into bad retakes. And again, not to oversimplify, because again, we have more games to talk about still, so I kind of want to move on as fast as I can here. But towards the end of this game, it felt like MOUZ were just better at closing these rounds out. Those final B takes from MOUZ were just perfect. Xerxton just once again getting multi-kills out his fucking ass. I think the thing that stands out to me most was that it felt like Donk was in position a few times to make like a ridiculous 2v4, but then MOUZ, again, their communication is so good, they were covering everything. On that final match point round, Donk has a gap to take that peek towards caves, but Spinks is covering it, sits Donk down, the round is over, and the game is over. I can't overstate how legit this win is for MOUZ. I really do have to re-examine my own biases here, because MOUZ are winning a lot of games. Do I think they can beat Vitality? I don't really know if anyone could beat Vitality right now the way that they're playing. I think MOUZ have a fair shot. They have shown me too much under pressure for me to doubt their ability to make things competitive. Again, I don't know if this is a honeymoon phase. I don't know what will happen when we get them back into a crowd environment again. Like, will they on stage feel more pressure playing against Donk? Maybe. But 2 grand finals in a row. 2 chances to win 2 best-of-5 grand finals. There's no other word to describe that than legit. Alright, moving on to Vitality versus the Mongolz. It is now several hours later, because scheduling is always a nightmare for me when I make these videos, and I, have to do things sometimes that aren't playing the game. Anyways, Vitality, I don't know what to say about this team, dude. I feel like it's not quite the same as watching Astralis at their peak, because Astralis were just so tactically dense that it felt overwhelming. But when I watched this Vitality play, I feel a very similar sense of dread, because I don't know who the fuck is supposed to beat them. Granted, Mongolz still did their usual amount of playoff dropping. Senzu was not good in this series, neither was Mazzino. 9-10 was okay. They relied a lot on Techno just having surprise carries on Nuke. We'll get there when we get there. But I feel like everyone short of Spirit, with Donk just dropping like 150 kills, I feel like the only way to beat Vitality is for them to underperform. I feel like if Vitality plays to their strengths, there is no team that should be able to beat them consistently. Can they lose occasionally? I'm sure they can. But they dominate every map they play. The maps that they aren't good, they just don't play. So you're in veto hell. You have to deal with ZywOo, Rops, and FlameZ, the strongest trio in any team in World Counter-Strike. Apex is at the apex of his career, pun intended, in terms of calling. And then Mezzy is the best support piece in the world. Xtaz isn't really that great of a coach. I've never really rated him highly, but who cares? He's not even needed most of the time. When Vitality wins, they run you into the ground. Look no further than this series. 13-4 on Anubis. Mongolz had to do everything in their goddamn power to win in overtime on Nuke. 13-2 on Inferno. When Vitality are winning, they are burying you. The fact this team got Rops is absurd. Because while Spinks is an amazing player, Rops is one of a kind. One of the very best mechanically gifted players to ever pick up a mouse. And you put him next to another one of the most mechanically gifted players to ever pick up a mouse. It turns out, that's a good combination. You're seeing the Anubis gameplay in the background. It's just overwhelming. Like, ZywOo doesn't even have to carry at this point. He just sits back and he just sits back and farms stats. Flames is just one of the best aggressive riflers in the world. And then Rops is like surplus to requirements, which is fucking crazy to say. I mean, Mongolz look scared. They looked like they could not take a confident gunfight to save their lives, man. And when we get over to the T side, you think, okay, T-sided map, Mongolz, you can run up a little bit, get aggressive, get in their face, you know. Vitality's been a little shaky on Anubis, maybe you can expose him. You won the pistol round, good job, you lost the forest buy in the next round after. Alright, cool, I guess we'll just go home. Like, the only reason the Mongolz didn't get folded like fresh pressed laundry on Nuke is because Techno stepped up in such a huge way and just had truly, unbelievably large Mongolian steel balls to continue to run at Vitality and win those gunfights. So many pivotal clutches. I mean, Techno, he was amazing. And it's hard to believe that he is the support piece. It's just like the same thing we talk about when Mazzino pops up. It's like, dude, the depth on Mongolz is scary. But it's not good enough. Like, you guys won Nuke. That's great. Guess what? Vitality were undefeated on Nuke over the last 3 months. Good job. You guys ended that streak. So what, we're going to Inferno. How's Vitality on Inferno? Oh, also undefeated? Okay, cool. Okay, yeah. No, that's fine. I'm sure that that's reasonable to be undefeated on 3 of the most played maps over 3 months of play. You know, admittedly, it's not the biggest sample size, but still. So where do you go in the veto? That's the thing I can't get over. Looking at Vitality's map pool actually hurts my brain. Because what map are they weak on? Like, what map are they seriously weak on? They're great on Mirage. They're great on Nuke. They can play Train if they have to. They're unbeaten on Inferno. They're unbeaten on Dust 2. And then they're pretty wishy-washy on Anubis. They still are. They're a 50-50 team on Anubis. So yeah, you know, if you're Eternal Fire, you might have a shot. But I would still bet on them to win those games. I think they could turn it around. I think they can get better at Anubis. Like, I feel like that's the aberration, not them being undefeated elsewhere. So listen, for the Mongolz, just as like a final note, I think they made a lot of positive progress in EPL. I need to see them do it in a stage environment, in an arena. I still think they're an incredible team. They just got screwed by the bracket, dude. Like, who's beating Vitality? I don't think MOUZ could do it tomorrow. I really don't. I don't know. I think Vitality are the strongest team in the world, and it's like not close. I think we're about ready to see an insane run of dominance if they win at EPL. So I guess we'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you guys are back for the grand finals. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Help me reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Thank you to Skin Club for sponsoring this video. Check the top link in the description. Get a 7% deposit bonus the next time you fill up. Thank you to them for sponsoring the video. Shout out to our channel members, Justin, JesseTiv, Milan Berta, Bubblesj, Dr. Cocktor, Patatas Kaftesi, PTR, B1 Games, Justin Vander, Vegt, I'm Flashbang, Snowme White, and Roddy. If you want to become a channel member, you can just hit the link in the description down below for $5 a month. You can support me directly and get your name at the end of the video just like this, as well as a custom role in our community Discord. Thank you to our channel members. And I'll see you guys soon with another video. Follow me on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. Yeah.